guess.
embark on a journey without a good book to accompany me.
Hello? Okay, now I'm back. Okay, what I wanted to say is, everyone welcome. Good evening or good morning, I don't know whoever's watching. I have kind of a free day tomorrow, or today I mean. So I can handle a stream, which has been around a month since the last one.
Of solitude.
It's been around a month since the last one. So yeah, we're going to date Faruzan today. And maybe Wednesday we're gonna do either a Deya quest or Nahida quest. Depends, really. But I think we're gonna do the Nahida quest because we gotta unlock the weekly boss. And you know, it's more important, even though I love Nahida more. I mean Deya, sorry, Deya.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, let's begin, I guess, since we're already here.
Even though most of the Academia's restrictions have significantly relaxed, I'm still a bit worried that the Matra might give her trouble. I need to stay here to keep an eye on the situation. Kale, can you head to Sumeru City and find out why she isn't here yet?
Does it have to be me?
I'd only assign a job this important to someone I trust.
Hey, Neophilia is here
feeling
too. Impressive.
Oh no, I'm fine. I've completely recovered. It's just that if I'm going to see her, I think I need to mentally prepare myself first.
I know. You'll have a tough time if you go by yourself. If we could arrange for someone to accompany you.
Hello, it's me. Hello, right here.
Oh, hey there!
It's been a while. What a coincidence. I was just thinking about asking you to accompany Kale to Sumeru City. Sorry, that's not what I meant. It's just that this matter concerns research banned by the Academia. Not the sort of thing you'd shout from the rooftops. Also, you happen to know about this situation. There are very few people I can trust to be discreet right now. After giving it much thought, I believe you're the most suitable person for this task. It's complicated, and this isn't the best place to talk about it. We'll fill you in on the details once she arrives.
Faruzan, what are you scheming there?
You might have heard about her in Sumeru before. Her name is Faruzan, and she's a very experienced senior researcher. Let's just say that a huge part of Kasharawar's mechanical research over the past 100 years has used her academic discourse and manuscripts as their foundation.
Yeah, she's smart.
She is, but she vanished for 100 years because of a certain incident. She only returned to the Academia after being found in the wilderness a few years ago. Because of that, her current personality can be a bit, strange, as is her attitude towards Kale.
I'm getting a headache just thinking about it.
She doesn't have bad intentions, so you don't have to be scared.
I'll try.
Yes. Kasharawar and Spontamod researchers are often quite prejudiced, so I can't trust them with this matter. However, Faruzan isn't influenced by modern thinking. In our previous correspondence through letters, she indicated that she'd be willing to help. It's already past our arranged meeting time, but she still hasn't shown up. I don't think so. With her personality, it's more likely that she got wrapped up in some sort of trouble. Anyway, can you go with Kale to the Academia and check on Faruzan for me?
Thank goodness. I was so anxious.
She's just like me for
I'm
real.
counting on you two. Kale, don't push yourself too hard. Just go there and see what's going on. Our task is important, but not that urgent. If Faruzan really is in some trouble, come back and tell me about it. We can always reschedule our meeting. After all, if she's distracted by other things, it'll affect her ability to help us.
Alright, let's go!
My god, I can just teleport there. Yeah, just like you.
Sorry, what did you say? Oh, could you repeat yourself? As you know, I'm sure. Hearing goes with age.
Faruzan, I said that you need to give us an answer.
Ah, yes. And did you forget to add madam when you addressed me earlier?
Your hearing is perfectly fine. Madam Faruzan, we don't want to make things difficult for you. However, you haven't been teaching courses or supervising theses these past few years. Isn't this rather problematic as an advisor? Never mind the students, even other advisors are starting to complain.
And who, if I may ask, complain? If they have any issue with me, tell them to talk to me themselves rather than waste any of your time.
Ah damn, she's cheeky. She's a cheeky
You
brat.
don't have to tell me anything. I very well know that it's those people from Haravatat. How I wish they'd put their time into doing proper research instead.
But Madam Faruzan, it has been a long while since you last made any practical academic contribution yourself.
Academic contribution cannot simply be divided between the tangible and the intangible. The issue here, I believe, is that the reviewer doesn't understand the very nature of knowledge itself. In any case, it makes no sense to use a metric like this to evaluate a mentor. Which sage set this rule anyway? I should write a letter of complaint right this instant.
Wait! Madam Faruzan, please let me finish.
Damn.
That's her, alright.
What is wrong? What is her attitude? God damn it.
Like a mantra. Shh! She hates it when people call her young! Her body apparently stopped aging during the year she was gone. So that's why she looks the same as she did 100 years ago. Okay, I think I'm ready for this. Let's go!
Anyway, Akara Crafts and the leader of Ksharawar would like to invite you to collaborate on this project. They're wondering if you'd be interested. Madam Faruzan? Are you listening?
Oh.
Ah, Kale! Why are you here at the Academia? Are you feeling better now? I'm much better, Madam Faruzan. It's all thanks to the Traveler and the Dendro Archon. Have you been sleeping well? You seem to be developing some eye bags. Is that brat Tainari forcing you to stay up late again? No!
Why is she calling him brat? Why is she calling him brat?
It's good to be hardworking, but you need to take care of your health.
Oh my god. Why is she calling him
Tainari
brat?
talking to when I see him. I'll also prepare some health supplements for you. There's really no need. Ah, and is the person beside you the legendary traveler?
Damn, she called me legendary.
Oh, I've heard much about you before. In fact, I've been meaning to meet you for a while now. It is thanks to you, after all, that the Academia is finally getting back on its feet. Even Kale's illness is...
Madam Faruzan, I believe we were still discussing the collaboration with Akara Crafts.
I'd wager it's those Kasharawar dunderheads finding excuses so that
Damn,
I
she
go to
talks
their
so
darshan.
fast, and I thought
Say
I
no
talked
more.
fast.
I have no plans to change my
What
field
the
of
fuck?
research.
He's like a
If you're
program.
this unwilling to participate in the collaborative
like a living
project,
fucking
you
program.
can also consider teaching a class. It might be
Goddamn.
difficult to teach a course with topics that only fall within Haravatat's subjects, but we can't delay this anymore. You need to give an answer. You can teach a course or participate in a collaborative project. If you don't do either, it'll be hard for me to persuade the advisors and students who have been complaining.
Could you not give me a few more days to consider? This matter has been delayed for so long already.
That's precisely the issue. If you don't give an answer today, I fear that someone will soon escalate their complaints to the sages.
What a waste of free time these folks are. Now you two are here at Tainari's behest, I take it. I'm sorry, but given the current situation, it looks like I'll have to come over some other day. Of course. I shall need some time to think as well.
What now? She seems so busy.
Can't we help her?
Master said there's no rush, but I know that he's been busy working on something at Party's DI, so he hasn't returned to Gandharville for several days now. I feel for Madame Faruzan, but I still want to ask her to come with us. But if I get her in trouble with the academia, then she won't have the time to help Master. What should I do? Oh, this is such a headache.
See, that's the options. So it means the story can go both ways. So let's do the first
Yeah,
one.
that would be best for them both. I'll check with Master later and see if there's anything I can help him with. But I'm sure he'll say, the best thing you can do now is study
So
hard.
those are the first
I
two
don't have to
options
give
which
you
can divide the
remedial
story.
lessons. Huh? Oh yes! This way she can get her problem sorted out quickly, and then she can go see Master. So if I also stay and help... that still sounds kinda scary. Okay then. I'm counting on you.
Is it like a double date because technically we have Golly here as well? Or is she leaving?
I have to teach students from Haravatat, or owe Kasharawar a favor. It strikes me that they might be even less happy about such a deal than I am.
I think I can sympathize with them.
We're back, Madame Faruzan. The Traveler said that he can stay and help you.
Oh, why I couldn't ask for more. In fact, I'm rather curious about the type of person the Traveler is. You were the one who taught Azar a lesson after all. That said, will I be troubling you? Is that so? Good. It does so happen that I do have something I need help with. Now, should I apply to teach a course with Haravatat, or join the collaborative project that Kasharawar is proposing? Honestly, I don't want to choose either of them.
You might have heard of it before. Haravatat is an academic faction that researches languages and runes.
Okay, is that another two options
100
that
years
divide
ago,
the
Madame
story?
Faruzan was a researcher from that darshan.
Now, not was. Still am.
Yes, of course. But current Haravatat students can't really... understand her direction of research.
In summary, I mean to interpret the configurations and solutions of ruin mechanisms via the deciphering of on-site stone carvings and unearthed documents. It'll include research into general documents dealing with such ancient machines.
The research method
She's
is
really
supported
talking
by
like a damn
Haravatat,
Terminator.
yes, but the content
And
deals
goddamn
heavily with
girl,
both
slow
ruins
down.
and mechanisms. This will make it difficult for students of this darshan
Compared
because
to
they don't
Eugene from
understand much
last
about
month,
mechanisms.
Jesus
Also, there are
man.
fewer and fewer
Eugene is an
unexplored
angel
ruins
in
left
comparison to
nowadays,
his tough
and
wars, and
Kasharawar
it's just
researchers have
seriously,
been
man.
developing their own theories on mechanisms.
They're far too complacent. Ancient mechanisms are more dangerous and complex than one might imagine. I'm telling you, things weren't like this 100 years ago. All researchers back then were interested
I
in
guess you're gonna
exploring
find
knowledge
those
from a
fucking
variety of
pyramids.
topics. They also gave more respect to unknown mechanisms. Nowadays, all people are interested in are mainstream subjects in popular research. Even if they attended my course, I wouldn't be interested in teaching them. Also, the people here think that my research is outdated and unrealistic, so they keep cutting my funding. Why, I think they could all stand to learn from Kale. She's a hard-working child and respects her elders.
Huh? Why me?
Ah, if only those who came to my lectures were more like you. Speaking of which, are you feeling better? You don't have to confine yourself to Gandharvaville anymore, right?
I just remembered that I have a lot of studying to do. I need to head back and find Master.
Are you telling me to start a reading course for Kale?
Huh?
Wait.
Hey, it does look like a
Although
double date.
Tighnari has academic
Kale
dealings
and
with the
Faruzan,
academia,
and
he
one.
isn't considered part of it.
Damn,
This means that Kale isn't technically a student.
Traveler has a Reese. God damn.
No, he's right. The old academia became consumed by their arrogance precisely because they ignored the public. There must surely be many people like Kale and Sumeru who are passionate about learning, but cannot study due to various reasons. The old academia paid no heed to them. But if I start a reading course for Kale as a pilot, perhaps this shall come to benefit many more people in the future.
I'll need to go back and ask if this is in accordance with regulations.
Oh, save yourself the extra trouble. I'll come with you. If there's any arguments to be had, we shall sweep them aside together. Traveler, Kale, do wait for us a little while outside the academia. I'll be back in just a moment.
Wait! Let's catch up with her.
Now, whose fault is it? I'm sure that you can read. I'm sure you can. Why are you pretending?
I can't believe she rushed right in after we arrived. She's really headstrong. No, not really. Madame Faruzan is a brilliant scholar. Even Master thinks so. If she's really going to teach me how to read, it'll definitely be much better than me bashing my head against the wall. It's just that she can get a bit too passionate sometimes. I don't know how to handle that. Maybe it's because she wants to take me in as a student? It's just like that researcher said. The academia has completely changed during the 100 years that Faruzan was gone. I don't really get it, but it does seem like Haravitat's students aren't optimistic about the prospects of doing research with her. Students who are interested in mechanisms and applications of the elements generally enroll in Kasharawar and Spontamod. Madame Faruzan also refuses to accept random students just to make up numbers, but she seems to like my attitude toward learning, so she often asks me if I'm willing to become her student. It's because I'm a slow learner that I have no choice but to stay up late and study. Whenever she compliments me, I feel really guilty. It's not that. Madame Faruzan respects my choices. She hasn't been trying to persuade me, especially since she knows I need to rest and recuperate. She sometimes brings food to Gandharvaville for me. Now that you mention it, it does feel a bit like that. Do I really look that young?
Listen to your fucking voice.
Kale, Traveler, thank you for waiting. The issue has been resolved. I argued with the higher-ups and convinced them of the practicality and necessity of educating the general public.
Of course, you
If
talk
I'm
like
not
a fucking
mistaken,
computer
they're the
program.
students of my classmates' students.
You're like an
They're a
living
lot less
AI.
forceful than their predecessors,
Artificial
though.
intelligence.
I'd say they caved rather quickly.
Amazing.
It's just that we need to fill in every single page of the application. It's been a century, but the academia is as picky as ever. Let's see now. What do we need to fill in? Course name, learning objectives, teaching methods, course materials. I suppose we can fill in the course name last. That's a bit too general, I'd say. After all, this class's target audience isn't toddlers or children. but rather people who already know the basics of reading. As such, we'll need a more specific learning objective. How about proficiency in reading and writing?
That's true. If we use children's teaching materials, we'll only end up wasting a lot of time on things that students would already know.
And you have your job as a forest ranger, Kale. People who attend this course in the future are also likely to have life commitments. We need more effective teaching methods.
Master always tells me that practice is the best way to learn. That's why I often ask him to help me find
I
some
swear,
books
it is a
to
double
read.
date. It's not
Must have
one,
been
it is
difficult to
double.
get books in Sumeru in recent years, no? Tainari really
Okay,
went
we're
the
gonna
extra
see
mile
if
for you.
Cole is gonna stay with us
Expanding
all
literacy is a
this
capital
time
notion.
from all
Now
the
that the academia is
directions.
using restrictions on the circulation of books,
If she
there
does,
should
I'm
be
gonna
more
change the
people who
name
have
to
become
Double
interested in
Day.
reading. It's a great time to conduct this course.
Faruzan and Cole.
So that's next on the list. I fear that I'm at a loss as to which books youngsters like nowadays. Fair. Kale, what have you been reading lately?
Me? I've been reading light novels from Inazuma. I heard that ever since we were allowed to sell books in Sumeru again, some people set up stalls at Treasure Street to sell light novels. I've been meaning to go
You
there and
weren't
check it
selling
out.
books?
Light novels? This is
Oh
my
yeah,
first
of course
time
you're
hearing
the
about
Akasha,
such a
but
thing.
still.
But I doubt I will procure suitable teaching
You
materials
weren't
from
selling
the House
books
of Vega.
even with Akasha?
Treasure Street it
Oh
is.
my fucking god. Jesus
wait,
Christ, that is
Master Faruzan?
horrible. That's horrible.
You wouldn't think someone as fast as her is over 100. Let's pick up the pace and catch up to her.
Where the fuck did she go? Who is that? Bro, don't you see that I'm fucking busy right now?
Time to act.
Okay, I went a bit too high. I was a bit too high. Oopsie. My mistake. I jumped a bit too low.
What a long and mildly ungrammatical title. And why is the cover so colorful?
Is this your first time seeing a light novel, ma'am? Oh, they're the most popular of books nowadays. Would you like me to recommend
she's the
something?
boomer like Annie. Okay, I see.
Fine. One shouldn't
But
judge
at
a
least
book by
she's a
its cover
smarter
after all.
boomer.
Maybe browse through the books here.
Of course. Why don't you
Wait
try
a
this one?
second.
It's Outlander Brigade.
Faruzan
when the
knows
wind
how
of death
mechanics
blew
works.
towards the blonde
And we have
samurai.
Raiden Shogun, which is a puppet.
I heard that
Hey,
this
that's
book's
some
author
future
describes
interactions
action in
here.
vivid detail.
Imagine if she sees a robot and wants to upgrade her or something.
Now I've only skimmed through a few pages,
That's a
but
good
it
build-up
feels
for the
like it's all
future.
fight scenes.
It is
There are
possible
only
that
subjects and
Faruzan
predicates,
can improve Raiden
and the
Shogun.
syntax is a tad simple.
Subjects?
Imagine like
Predicates?
ancient Sumeru
The protagonist
techniques
just ends up fighting in every scene with no
implemented
proper
in
build-up.
Raiden
Will
Shogun.
anyone even enjoy a story that's only comprised of fights?
The double power of two nations in one mecha. Sheesh, man. That sounds insane.
How about... the good thing about being reincarnated as a hilly churl is that I only need to eat Sunsetias to become stronger.
A reincarnation isekai story? Those are pretty popular right now.
No shit,
Isekai.
Sherlock.
What in the world is that? Also, why does it become stronger by eating Sunsetias?
Yeah, it's the same as reading 1000 Slimes manga, okay? It's basically the same. So many manga references in this.
Tropes? Ah, those fictional rules used to push the plot forward, yes? They're definitely effective in achieving a distancing effect.
Sorry. What is this distancing effect?
However, this book doesn't explain how reincarnation correlates to becoming stronger. Such an illogical rule will
Nah.
affect the coherence of the story. Will readers really accept this?
Bruh, I mean, come on. We are basically isekai here. Well, not basically, I mean, we are not dead, we're alive. But we are from another world, so technically it's an isekai. Technically? I don't know. I mean, it's like the game itself is talking funny about itself.
How about this? I had to fight tooth and nail to get this in stock.
Oh, that's the latest volume of Onibudo!
Now that's a rather normal title length. Oh, Kale, do you like this series?
Yes, but I don't like it that much. Madam, are you going to
That
use
sounds
this
kinda
series as
copium.
teaching material?
Colin, that sounds kinda
Let me
copium.
see.
Why are you lying?
Dialogue
Come on.
flows quite well, but there are too many phrases here that I don't recognize. Third eye of perception, illusory mirror, and so on. Aren't these terms that are tied to tropes?
I also thought those names were strange when I was reading them.
It's impossible to derive the meaning of these phrases in isolation. Also, their morphological properties are quite pedestrian, really. Or did the protagonists purposely create these strange names to disorient their foes? So there's no deeper purpose. It's quite hard to understand stories written these days.
You're right.
You really are a
It's
fucking
such a
grandma,
weird
aren't
book.
you, Faruzan?
But you keep wanting to read the next page.
I mean, you are 100 years old. I'm
Even
not
the
complaining,
most
but
popular book
still.
in Sumeru back then had greater depth than anything written today. Yes, a Bahumano researcher wrote it while researching folk legends. The plot had many twists. The world building was fantastic, and even the writing could withstand scrutiny. When it was still being published, many people in the academia were reading it. Even the sages back then all described the story as a timeless classic. The series must have concluded after so many years, right?
You should read Jobless
popular now.
Reincarnation then.
Is there a book like that
The
in
world building
Sumeru?
is pretty good there.
I've never heard
Horror
of such a thing
Zero
before.
is also
What's
a
the
good one.
title?
It's called Tales of Shariar. Do you sell it here?
Tales of Shariar? I don't think I've heard of that before. When was it published?
About 100 years ago.
100 years ago? Are you pulling my leg? What sort of book can remain popular for 100 years?
The Legend of Antara is popular to this very day, isn't it? I just heard someone telling it a few days ago in a cafe. If an old story like that is still being shared, then Tales of Shariar must be even more popular.
Even if that is the case, I really don't carry that book here in my store.
What? Is that because of the academia's strict control over books in recent years? I can't believe they've allowed the people of Sumeru to become so uncivilized. How can they not know about the Tales of Shariar?
Tales of Shariar? Oh, wait! I think I heard an antique seller on the other end of Treasure Street mention that name before. I mean, it is a book from 100 years ago. Why don't you try asking for it there?
Nice.
Tales of
We're gonna hunt
Shariar is
after a book.
considered an antique now? How could the academia have let such an excellent work of literature be forgotten
Okay,
like
so
this?
Faruzan is like
Traveler,
working with
call it.
Max.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Plus she read
Let's meet at
books
the
like
antique
Lisa.
sellers.
Yeah, she's basically a boomer, yes.
Oh no, this is
Not a
bad.
MILF, but a boomer, that's for sure.
You asked me why I'm scared of Madame Faruzan, right? It's not because I don't know how to respond to her kindness. It's because I'm afraid of that ancient language she researches, because I can barely understand any of it. What if she uses ancient texts as teaching material? Even so, what if researchers from 100 years ago like to use ancient languages in their books? We've got to catch up to her!
I mean, yeah, I understand. Learning some new language is hard. Anything else here now?
Time to act.
Found it! The 5th volume of Tales of Shariar!
Wow, you actually found it!
I never thought this book would ever get sold.
All right, that's our teaching material secured. We also now know what to call this course. Analysis of Classical Texts. After all, this book is definitely worthy of being called a classic.
Can I take a look? Luckily, the language being used here isn't ancient at all. I can recognize a few words here and there. Huh? But why aren't there pictures in this book?
As long as the writing is good, readers won't need any illustrations to imagine the scenes. Worry not. I shall thoroughly explain the difficult sections. You'll like this book. I know it. After all this time, I wonder if Aaliyah and Aziz ended up together. And who obtained the Desert Gem in the end? Sir, do you have the subsequent volumes of this series?
I don't think so.
Is that so? And here I thought I could finally read the ending. Never mind. I'll
So
keep searching
she's
for the
into
later volumes
romance.
myself.
Okay, based,
I'm to use it as a teaching material.
based
It's better
Faruzan.
to start
Okay, this is
earlier in the
based.
series. Where are the first 4 volumes? Why aren't they all together?
I don't have those either. Actually, this is the only volume I have.
Is this series really that popular?
No. It's not popular at all. Rather, there's absolutely no demand for it.
No demand? Impossible. Back then, I'd come across at least 3 groups of people talking about it during a single stroll at the Academia.
Bro, it was 100
Seriously?
fucking
No one
years
told me
ago.
that this book was anything special when I first got it.
Where did you get this from? Can you still contact the seller?
I'm afraid not. This book was sold together with a whole bunch of antique furniture. I didn't even notice it initially. Otherwise, the Matra would have come knocking. Wait, is this book actually worth a lot? It can't be, right?
That's impossible. No matter how strict the Academia was, there's no way Tales of Shariar could have fallen into such a state.
Hey, that's how business goes. One book comes, the other comes and changes the fame wave and stuff, you know? One manga, then the other.
Sighed?
One light novel,
Why
then
would he
the
react
other,
like
you know?
that? Given
As
the quality
usual.
of Tales of Shariar, he should have been entranced after a single glance.
Like it was
I'm
Darling
sorry.
the Franks, now it's the
Kane,
Chainsaw
Please give
Man.
me a moment. I'd like to look through this book first.
I'm like,
Why is there another misunderstanding between Aaliyah and Aziz? Also, why is there no mention of the Desert Gem at
the
all?
Promised Neverland that
And
has
a new
now the
character is
Demon
introduced
Slayer,
with
like
no
for example,
foreshadowing at all?
how it's changing
Also, what
constantly.
are all these new names and terms? Is this really the Tales of Shariar I know?
Because you had the internet, right? You know, the Akasha.
Well, that passerby reacted in much the same way. It's Mada from the cafe over there. You know, the fellow who spends all day telling the legend of Antara. Since that's also a very old story, maybe he knows a thing or two about that, Tales of, whatever it's called.
Then let's go ask around at the cafe. Huh? Madame Faruzan?
Huh? Oh, yes. Let's go.
Oh, she doesn't like it at all. She doesn't like it at all. But the way she talks, I really don't like it. I really don't like it. Like, it's so annoying. But I understand her hobbies and stuff. I mean, she's pretty old for an ordinary human. I'd say she's the... I'd say she's the oldest amongst the cast of all the normal characters. Who is not Archon or Yaksha
Another day, another
or
empty
another
room.
half-god being.
Excuse me? But are you Mada?
Yes.
If the
Are
clean
you
scene
here to
is
listen
still
to my
in question.
story?
Who is older, Faruzan or Klee? I have no
We came
idea.
to ask about something else.
I see.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm used to it, more or less. So, how can this terribly unpopular storyteller help you?
Do you know about Tales of Shariar?
Huh? Tales of Shariar? Why, I can barely remember the last time anyone talked about it. My master always talked about how incredibly popular that book used to be. However, I tried reciting a few chapters of it at the cafe, and I found that it's even less popular than the Legend of Antara.
Your master?
Yes, the one who taught me how to be a storyteller. He said that Tales of Shariar was written by his master's master's master. He also said that this great-great-grandmaster was an academia researcher, and that even the sages liked the series. He wrote 4 volumes back then, and the reviews just got better and better. You couldn't find a single person in Sumeru who hadn't read his books.
And then? What happened next? Why doesn't anyone know about Tales of Shariar now?
Oh, it's hard to tell when it comes to trends.
Exactly,
One day everyone
trending.
likes stories like that, and the next day their tastes change completely. Instead of writing a proper ending, this great-great-grandmaster kept trying to extend
You should
the
let's ask
story.
Yaomiko for help.
To
Maybe
tap
she
into
knows.
popular trends,
You know,
he
since she
added a
works
lot
in
of
this
tropes.
business.
Then, starting from the 5th volume, the reviews started to go downhill.
How could that be? Then what happened to Tales of Shariar in the end?
In the end, there's no ending. The great-great-grandmaster tried to write a few more volumes, following whatever trends were popular at the time, but the trends kept changing right as he published his books. He got so infuriated that he stopped writing altogether and focused on his research instead.
Understandable.
What? So there's no ending? The readers didn't care?
By that time, only a very small number of people were reading Tales of Shariar.
That's an ouch.
Anyway, my master probably exaggerated. How could a work possibly have been that popular? The only tangible thing my great-great-grandmaster left is the original draft of Legend of Antara. He also left behind many theses from his research phase. When my master talked about Legend of Antara, he'd even quote from those theses. My master is a much better storyteller than me. Even when we're telling the same story about Antara, he's always able to draw in a huge crowd. But even he won't recite Tales of Shariar due to its ever-changing writing style and its lack of an ending.
So, Antara's story is the one that lasted through the years.
Well, not even sages can definitively ascertain the quality of something like a story. In the end, only time can separate the classics from the fads.
Only time?
Madame Faruzan?
It's been 100 years. Perhaps some things I once believed to be great aren't so after all.
Yeah! Master helped me find a lot of famous books.
Come
at
on,
first,
traveler.
but
Get the riz up. Get the riz
realized
up. Come
that I
on.
couldn't get into them.
She might be an
No matter
old lady,
how
but you
good
can
those
take
stories
it.
are,
Come on, it's not a problem.
I can't improve my skills if I can't bring myself to read them in the first place.
You were on a date with fucking Raiden
I found the
Shogun. You
best
can
books for
handle
me
this.
Are the ones I like. Huh.
Indeed. That
Come on.
is true. Readers' interests and trends of a time are not things that are so easily predicted.
Imagine going
What was
from a date
popular
with
100
Lisa
years
to
ago
a
could be
date with an
completely
actual
forgotten in
fucking
modern
god.
times. And yet,
Like
100
holy
years
shit,
as far as
bro.
history
Come
is
on, the
concerned,
riz of the
is but a
fucking
blink
main
of an eye.
character. Come on.
If Tales of Shariar hadn't chased after trends and instead stuck to its original style from start to finish, it might have stood some chance of gaining renewed popularity. No, even if that didn't happen, at least it would be a work that was true to itself.
Huh? Our conversation just got a lot more serious.
I don't really get what you're talking about, but it does sound sensible. Looks like I also have to hang in there and tell Antara's story well.
How unseemly. I almost got carried away because of a single book. Well then, we should get back to the matter of our teaching material. It looks like we can't use Tales of Shariar. No, it's much too old.
Oh.
Kale, you found a book that you liked at the
That was a
bookstall,
painful
yes?
oh. Like I felt it. I fucking
yes,
felt
but
it.
I don't really...
that book as our teaching material. Now that I think about it, using a book that you like is the most suitable choice for teaching you how to read. As for the academia, as long as we come up with an appropriate course name, we should be able to get away with this. My, it sounds like you've dealt with the academia before. Let's go with that.
Hey, I'm
Now
a
then,
professional,
let's
come
return
on.
to the book vendor in a bit and buy the latest volume of this Onibudo for Kale. But if I wish to use it as teaching material, I have to read it first.
Huh?
Speaking of which, other than third eye of perception and illusory mirror, I also espy some unfamiliar phrases from the reader's messages at the back of the book. Such things as, even if it reminds me of my dark history, I still can't help but be drawn in by the story. And the author has written all the things that I only dare whisper into a tree hollow. Why do people use dark history to refer to awkward or embarrassing memories? Is this some slang that was invented in the last century? If one of our learning objectives was researching linguistic changes over the past 100 years, it might make it easier to get these books approved as teaching material.
Oh, I can tell you what that's all about. Apparently, in their youth, some people used to imagine themselves as someone burdened by fate, fighting against the world, etc. But as they grew older, they started to become embarrassed by such memories.
Yeah.
Some would write
I
those
guess we
fantasies
embraced
into
it because
novels,
we're literally
while others
fucking
would
fighting against
entrust
everyone
such
in this
tales to
fucking
tree
world.
hollows.
Mara?
Except the main cities in the in the land regions. We're pretty much fighting against everything on the map.
I knew it. There will always be people who love the golden oldies. Now, let me tell you all about the ancient hero, Antara.
Ah, that's one. Primo Gems. Wow, three. I have three options. Okay, that's a straight one. It doesn't have anything else. Oh, we got some books. How much primas do we have now? Can I do another pull on standard? Ah, no, I can't. We're close. I guess I'm gonna do it in the morning. So I guess we're choosing the second option now.
What now? She seems... Master said there's no... I feel for... But if I get her in trouble... But if someone does complain to the academia, wouldn't it make Faruzan's situation more awkward? And if the academia investigated and found her at Party's DI, things would get even worse for her.
Hey, I'm here, come on.
Do you have some way to invite her over to Party's DI without stepping on the academia's toes? Okay then, I'm counting on you.
Come on, I'm the Riz Master, bro.
I have to teach...
Madam Faruzan!
Well, since you're asking me so sincerely...
Please, Madam Faruzan, focus. Today's the deadline. Huh?
Yes. I see. No wonder he sent you two over. Why, that lad didn't make it very clear in his letter, now did he? Otherwise, I would have reported it as part of my research.
Yeah, that's right! Master sent us over to explain everything to you.
Wait. Opportunities for collaborative research don't just come out of thin air. This seems like too much of a coincidence. Also, there isn't much overlap between Madame Faruzan's research and that of Amorta, right? What will you even be collaborating on?
Master wants to research,
a fully automated irrigation system.
A fully automated irrigation system?
Precisely. It's a system that can automatically adjust the amount of water it provides based on the season and the plant species involved. I saw a similar mechanism while exploring a rune in the rainforest. That's why Tainari wanted to collaborate with me.
A mechanism like that exists? Why haven't I heard of it before?
You're because you're fucking blind and you can see the R&R, that's why.
It's that you don't know about it. Why don't you go ask your teacher's teacher? Perhaps they've heard about it from their teacher.
But we can't prove its existence one way or the other, right?
Fret not. I'll have Tainari write an official proposal to the Academia later. That should do it, right?
An official proposal. Fine. We haven't made any progress with either the collaborative project or the elective course anyway. I'll go inform my superiors now. Please do take care of the paperwork as soon as possible. Don't delay this any longer.
Sure. I'll be sure to needle him until he gets it done. Phew. I think she bought it. Even though this is our first meeting. I must say, we make a good team.
Wow! You made up that excuse on the spot, huh? Madam Faruzan? Did you really find an irrigation system 100 years ago? If the Academia asks for any details...
Who knows? It's been 100 years, so it wouldn't be too surprising if I've forgotten a few details, no?
Huh? Then how will we explain things to them?
I'll let Tainari worry about whatever documents we might need to send to the Academia. If I'm right, the request he has in store for me won't be any simpler than the Academia nonsense.
I mean, it's kinda true, I guess. Oh, there again.
You don't have to shout. I can hear you. Well, you got here much faster than I expected. I thought you'd have a lot more business to take care of.
Thanks to the Traveler, I was able to, pawn off various problems of mine onto others.
Onto others? What does that mean?
We can discuss that later. You're looking for me because of the thing you mentioned in the letter, right?
That's right. Please, follow me.
Is it about the mechanism that we have since the previous story quest? I'm asking. Is it about that mecha? Oh yes! Yes, it's about him! It's about him! I fucking knew it!
A monster? Why is there a monster here?
Don't be scared, Kale. This is the mechanical life form the Traveler and I saved a while back. Its name is Karkata. It's the final work of a late junior of mine.
You mean Abatui? He must have been a genius to create one of such polish all by himself. It's uncommon that a Spontamod researcher is able to create such an intricate machine. If he were still around, we could probably chat the day away. What a shame. Something seems wrong here. Have you been maintaining it? Mechanical life forms are much more fragile than they look.
Is Karkata sick?
Karkata has been lying down like this since a few days ago. It could be an old malfunction acting up again. I've taken a few courses conducted by Spontamod before, so I've managed to perform some passable repairs on Karkata's energy supply module. However, it seems the issue this time is with its transmission. My knowledge can only prevent its condition from deteriorating any further. But Madame Faruzan, you should be able to find a way to repair it.
Not necessarily. Mechanical life forms are created using techniques from alchemy, elemental science, and more. There are multiple modules here that influence each other. A simplistic knowledge of mechanisms will not serve here. You know that as well.
And then I can help,
Each mechanical
maybe.
life form is very different from the next. So even I cannot be sure if my understanding of mechanical life forms is going to be of any use to our little crab friend here.
Karkata.
Can you all go outside for a minute? I need a bit of space. Before I do a thorough check, everything we've just said is but conjecture.
All right. We're counting on you, Madame Faruzan.
That is so... I was gonna say...
We'll wait here till Faruzan finishes her past, huh? Quite a few people in the academia
It's kind of
know
weird
about
to
what
feel from
happened to her.
Tainari word madam.
Perhaps it'd be best
This
if
is
I'm
kind
the
of
one to
weird,
tell
but
you.
okay.
I've told you before that she had disappeared for 100 years, right? From her perspective, trapped might be a more apt description. Her exact words were...
That ruin was crawling with traps and coded inscriptions from wall to wall. I did all I could to decipher the code and deactivate the traps to escape the ruin, but there was no way out. I lost track of time and I ran out of pen and paper. In the end, I had to use stone shards to write on the walls and on the floor to decipher the code. Then, before I realized it, I ran out of space on the walls and floor. I had to calculate all the possibilities in my mind.
Holy fucking shit, what kind of bullshit was it in there? Is it even worse than there are puzzles from Mihoyo?
After that, my memory started to become fuzzy, and my cognition slowed down.
She doesn't remember anything else, including the location of the ruin, and how she finally managed to escape. When
There
she
is
was
a
found
ruin
in
that
the
can
outskirts
literally
of
make you
Sumeru
fucking
a few years
immortal
ago, she looked exactly
you solve the
same
puzzle.
as she did 100 years prior.
Hey yo,
However, she
where
was
the
in a
fuck is that
stupor
ruin?
and struggled to form sentences. Only after a lengthy recovery period could she speak again. The academia speculates
That can
she
be
must have
very
gotten
helpful, you
trapped
know,
in an
if you
unknown
find
ruin
it.
while researching machines a century ago. And because of the ruin's special properties that halted her aging, she was able to use those 100 years to crack the trapping mechanism and then escape. Though she had finally broken free, 100 years had passed. Everyone she knew and everyone who knew her was already gone. In the end, even the academia had to rely on century-old records in the Akasha to confirm her existence. Don't make that face. I'm not telling you this because I want to drum up sympathy. She wouldn't want others to pity her because of past events. Rather, she sees that period of entrapment as an experimental error. As a researcher, she must accept everything that results from her experiments, even if they don't fall within expectations. Even after going through so much, she's returned to Sumeru and still hasn't given up on her research. Due to changes over the years and drift in academic subjects, she holds some rather strong opinions about the current academia, and she has no shortage of detractors herself. What I want to say is that no matter what era we're in, Faruzan is a true senior researcher, in every sense of the word. She has her own deep understanding of various ruins and machines.
Master, Madame Faruzan's done.
Oh, let's head over. With any luck, she might have figured something out.
I never thought that I'd encounter a restitution module once again after 100 years. Abattoir really installed quite a few impressive things on this. If my guess is correct, this mechanical life form has displayed attempts at self-sustenance before, right? Such as collecting parts to repair itself, for instance?
It used them for something else, but as far as its design goes, it does have a function like that.
I knew it. If I'm not wrong, Carcata's issue lies with its restitution module. Abatoi's modified this module extensively, but the core parts and design philosophy are very similar to the principles as I know them. They are all based on principles learned from the ruins. The creators of the ruins machine once tried to create a perpetual mechanism that could replace life or even surpass it. The restitution module is the result of one of their
Are you
countless
talking
attempts.
about the one in the
It
Inazuma?
replicates the behavior of living things to achieve a
There we have a
self-repair
perpetual
function.
cube there.
However, the energy required in maintenance of the module became an issue.
You're telling me
energy
that fucking
consumption?
cube can surpass all life?
Maintenance?
Is that what you're
For
talking about?
example, a living thing's heart can deliver nutrients and blood to various organs. However, the bigger the living thing, the more powerful the heart needs to be. Once the heart is damaged, it'll be hard for that living thing to heal itself, and even the function of other organs can be affected. Thus, the attempt wasn't widely adopted. Even 100 years ago, I'd only seen it once before. Oh dear, this is going to be a problem. Based on my current research, I'll need to swap out the damaged parts in the restitution module to repair Carcata. But like I just said, the module is rare, even by the standards of ancient machines. Not only that, but there is very little related research documentation available. Finding suitable parts would be like trying to find a single gear in the vast desert, to say nothing of the difficulty in making those parts from scratch. One can only wonder where Abattoir found the original parts.
I might have an idea. Abattoir was, for a time, quite passionate about excavating the Great Red Sand. This was when he had just gotten expelled from the academia.
You mean to say he found a restitution module in the desert? Well, that is indeed possible.
But the desert's huge. How are we supposed to find the parts that Carcata needs?
According to the Academia's records, no similar parts have been found in the Great Red Sand over the past 100 years. If we want to try our luck, we'll have to explore ruins that have never been explored before.
I do know that a Vahumana researcher formed an expedition team after the sandstorms and earthquakes subsided. They are now exploring areas of the desert that used to be difficult to access.
Should we ask them if they've made any new discoveries lately?
The chances are slim, but it's at least more effective than running around like headless chickens.
His name is Raid. I think he's stationed at the northeast part of the Hypostyle Desert. Let's go look for him once Carcata settles down.
Oh, you and Kale should probably stay. Carcata's condition may be stable, but it would still be better if some of us stay to look after it. Besides, you still need to take care of the trouble that the Academia left for me.
Trouble from the Academia? I thought you said that you pawned it off to someone else. Wait. Don't tell me.
I'll let Kale fill you in on the details. I look forward to seeing your work, Tainari.
So, where do we need to go? Oh, there. Oh, thank God there's a teleporter.
Body and mind.
What is this?
Halt! Mr. Raid's permission is required to proceed any further. That still won't do. Mr. Raid told us to keep people away from the ruins so they don't damage the site.
Damage the site? I've excavated more ruins than you've visited restaurants. Which batch of students is Raid from? I want to see him right now.
He isn't at the campsite now. You should all leave. Only he can give you permission to enter.
What a stubborn guy. You're right. Even if there is
That's
new
another double
information, we
option.
still have to wait for him to come back so we can ask him about it. So let's just see what we can find out from the people here. I'm going to give that Raid a good talking to when he gets back. Starting from who in the world mentored you?
That machine looks amazing! Could it be the legendary Ruin Wanderer? The location seems to...
The ruins? Forget excavation.
Time to act.
This area used to be... They say that this was done by a single...
Well, I found out everything I could. Is there anything that stands out to you? Ruin Wanderer. That's the first time I've heard that name. But that wreckage did seem a bit weird. It's a bit far away, and I can't really say for sure from this distance. Perhaps we should ask the villager from before about the legend first.
Huh? What are you guys doing back here? I wouldn't blame you for not knowing about it, youngsters. After all, it's a tale that's over a decade old. It's said that this monster, the Ruin Wanderer, traversed through various ruins for centuries. Many adventurers had claimed to see it while exploring. Some said that it was like a giant, while others said that it was like a beast. Then, about 10 years ago, we stopped hearing any news about it in Sumeru. No one has seen it since then, and the legend has since faded into memory. You youngsters probably don't know about the Ruin Wanderer nowadays, but it was famous for centuries.
Centuries? Impossible. I heard nothing about it back then. It could only have been around for a few decades at most.
Wait, back then?
Indulge my curiosity for a moment. Why do you think that wreckage is the Ruin Wanderer?
Well, I had also heard that secondhand from...
You heard that nonsense from the Eremites after they got drunk, right?
Who are you?
Madam Faruzan, it is a pleasure. I'm Raid, the one who organized this archaeological expedition. I'd heard of you at the Academia, but I didn't expect to run into you here. Truly, it is an honor. And this must be the famous traveler, I presume. What brings the two of you here?
Have you found any special contraptions and relics in the ruins that you've been investigating?
I'm ashamed to say that we haven't found anything noteworthy, even though we've been investigating for a while now.
Really? That ruin wanderer isn't noteworthy to you?
I'm afraid those are mere rumors. Really, I sometimes wish that those people would put as much effort into their work as they do into gossiping.
You're right, sir. I'll get back to work now.
The wise do not buy into rumors, so it is said. I believe that you too, Madame Faruzan, do not put any stock into such baseless talk.
It is also said that real knowledge shall come from practice. I can help you research the excavated relics and see if I can find out anything new about them. You can take credit for any new discoveries. I believe this offer to be sufficiently attractive.
In truth, I could ask for nothing better than your help with our research. However, you two must be tired after a long journey. I'd feel bad if I set you to work immediately. It's getting late and my subordinates and I are heading back to the camp to rest. Why don't you find a place to spend the night first? We can continue our discussion tomorrow. There's a tent that the villagers occasionally use to rest. It's a bit simple, yes, but I hope you won't mind.
Since you need to rest as well, let's do just that. This is quite far away. Are they trying to prevent the villagers from eavesdropping on them?
It's been like 5 meters. What do you mean far away?
Fine, though. This way, they won't overhear our conversations either. Now, I have my suspicions about this archaeological expedition team and that machine wreckage. I only caught a quick glimpse, and it was from a distance. But based on the condition of the armor and joints, it didn't seem like something that had been lying around for centuries. At most, I'd estimate that it only stopped moving about a dozen years ago. Yes, the timing coincides with the spreading of the legend. Now, assuming that it really is the Ruin Wanderer, how do you suppose it was able to maintain a relatively good condition despite high-intensity operation over the course of several decades? That's right. Technically speaking, the module shouldn't be able to move such a large machine chassis. However, I'm basing my knowledge on the mechanical life forms I've seen before. Well, this was over 100 years ago. It was a machine about the same size as Karkata, actually. It couldn't carry heavy objects or fight, and was only able to help me record some notes. It also helped me deliver letters home. I found it near the desert, which is why I wondered if there might be more restitution modules buried around here. Honestly, people in ancient times might have already solved the problem of providing enough power for all I know. I'll need to research this. Had I confronted Raid right there and then, he would have said that he couldn't tell that the machine was special. Then he'd just hand it over to the Academia obediently. And he'd get away scot-free. If the wreckage were to be handed to the Academia, it'd be much tougher for us to do research on it or get spare parts for Carcata.
Man, I need to finish it, but I'm falling out.
We should figure out what they're planning before making our next move. They insisted that we should stay the night, which means if they're trying to pull a fast one on us, they're likely to try tonight. We must be vigilant. Are those sounds coming from the excavation site? Not a single person guarding the campsite. I'll see if they left any clues behind it. All right.
Body and mind.
Why isn't the tent here yet? We need to switch it out tonight.
It's still on the way. I'm afraid this is the first time we're delivering such a huge one.
You good-for-nothings are just a load of trouble, aren't you? We wouldn't have to deal with these interlopers if you had kept those lips of yours from flapping. Hurry up and hide our current tent and deliver the new one to me tonight, no matter what it takes.
Huh? Who's there?
I'm sorry. I'm just a bit upset because my subordinates aren't doing their jobs properly. When did you get here? It's nothing. Just a tent. We didn't pack up all our tents from the last campsite. Some of them, along with a few people, have been left there. Someone damaged our current
Or I guess I'm just gonna do part 1 and part 2 I will finish
from that previous campsite
at Wednesday.
here. The relics in the ruins are highly valuable. Well, speaking of which, where's Far?
I'm right here. Also, you forgot to address me as Madam.
Sorry.
You were all making so much noise that I couldn't sleep, which is why I got the Traveler to find out what was going on. But for some reason, that one task took forever, so I came to check in on the situation.
I'm very...
Good. Come on, Traveler. Yes, we should get better rest so that we'll have energy to...
Time to act.
Thanks for dealing with them. Now, I found something good on my end. These are the excavation records from their campsite. According to them, the ruins have been raided before, with numerous traps and contraptions having already been triggered. I also observed the wreckage up close earlier. The weathering is nowhere near as extensive as on the relics that have been buried for over 100 years. There's no doubt that the wreckage and the ruins don't belong to the same era. Instead, it must have wandered into the ruins about a dozen years ago. It could have fallen into a trap or encountered a glitch with it. However, the last few pages of the It's just wordplay. And if anything, that's my wheelhouse.
Help! Please help! Why are you running away? Come back! Protect me!
What's that sound? Is it? The Ruin Wanderer? Reactivated? That's impossible! Is this the work of some kind of hidden mechanism? Never mind. We have to focus on saving lives first.
Oh, come on, this is easy. I eat that thing for breakfast.
What? It ignored the Traveler?
Why is it chasing after us?
What could have caused it to reactivate? And to give chase?
Darn it! Hey, come on, you lot! It's clear that we can't escape, so let's just attack it!
Huh? What in the fuck?
It stopped? Hey, you guys!
But what if it suddenly moves?
Yo! Looks like this thing's parts can't
Disappointing, you say? Now is that because you won't be able to sell it for much?
Faruzan.
You wrote these excavation records, did you not? Or perhaps calling it a ledger might jog your memory a bit better. January 3rd. Excavated 5 tenths. January 5th. 3 tenths sold. January 10th. 1 special tent pre-sold. You're supposed to be an archaeological expedition team, and yet here you are, secretly selling the relics and profiting from it. When you believed that you had found the wreckage of the ruined wanderer, you tried to switch in wreckage that you had excavated previously to pull the wool over the Academia's eyes. After all, there would probably be many wealthy buyers interested in purchasing the legendary ruined wanderer in the black market, yes? And then we arrived just before you could finish your work. That forced you to speed up your plan, and you tried to complete the switch overnight before I could investigate the wreckage.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sounds like bullshit.
You lack the curiosity befitting a man of knowledge, nor do you have respect for mechanical life forms.
Ridiculous.
Mr. Aid!
Behind you?
Ah, you fucked.
Why is it moving again? Run!
Is he dead?
Some said that it was like a giant, while others said that it was like a beast. However, none knew why it wandered the ruins.
Technically speaking, the module shouldn't be able to move such a large machine chassis. However, I'm basing my knowledge on the mechanical life forms I've seen before. Centuries? Impossible. I heard nothing about it back then. It could only have been around for a few decades at most.
Why is it chasing after us?
So you've been looking for me this whole time?
Huh?
Long time no see, Tamimi.
What? The fuck? There was a machine inside a machine? What the fuck? Huh?
Dear Faruzan, I hope you're doing well. It has been over 20 years since you went missing. People from the Academia keep telling us to give up and that you're most likely dead. But somehow, I feel that you're still
so much
alive.
paper on the ground.
Yes, that you live still in some corner of this world. You've always been persistent, able to shine no matter what situation you face. I believe that this persistence serves you well in surviving and finding your way home. Unfortunately, I likely won't be able to welcome you home when you do. I don't have much time left, and my reflexes have slowed. Others keep telling me to stop exploring ruins. Only Tamimi is still the same as before, always running off to places which you've been to. Your teacher and friends came up with an idea to remodel Tamimi. You didn't like coming home back then, and I don't know the answer to that question, but I regret not being able to say this to you myself.
Welcome home, Faruzan. Look at you, Tamimi. You've changed so much after all these years. Thank you for waiting for me all this time. I've safely received the letters. Your work is done now. You can sleep. Tamimi, the mechanical life form I encountered back then. When I would go on expeditions, it would follow me, take notes for me, and send my letters home. When I met with that accident, it was on the way to deliver a letter for me. I once thought that I'd never get to see it again. I didn't expect my teacher and others to remodel its self-repair function, upgrading it to self-learning. And so, in order to plumb the depths of unknown ruins and overcome dangerous traps, Tamimi, which used also it could deliver these last letters from them to me. The strain to support such a huge body must, even after the remodeling, it's rested just like a living being. It most likely only reactivated because it detected my presence. Tainari told you what happened to me. You don't have to apologize. It's not like this incident is a secret in the academia. Besides, I've always treated it as a failed experiment. As a researcher, I must accept this result. However, finding out that so many people were affected by my failure does make me feel somewhat conflicted. Can you head back to Pardis GI first? We've been here for a while, and it's best not to make Kale and the rest worry. As for me, I want to stay with Tamimi for a bit longer. Just a bit.
Aw. Well, we didn't have to kill anyone. Surprisingly. Okay, let me finish this part and I'm going to sleep. Like, I cannot handle this anymore. I'm blacking out. I'm seriously blacking out.
You're back!
Ah, how was your journey through the desert?
Oh no.
As a researcher, we should give her some... And in the future...
Welcoming party.
We've all been waiting for you, Madame Faruzan.
That's more like it. Now, why do you all look so solemn? Come now. Liveliness befits youngsters more.
Madame Faruzan, did these parts come from...
Come now. I thought that you must have encountered some major problem. This isn't something you have to worry about. Well, it looks like you already know everything. But no need to feel bad. Like I said before, as researchers, we must learn to accept our failures. Tamimi has been operating beyond capacity for a century, and I'm, as a senior... Besides, I didn't say I'll be sure to revive Tamimi once I've fully deciphered and replicated the creations of the ancient civilization.
All right, I'll do...
Me too! Although...
Thank you. And when that day comes, welcome home, Tamimi.
Ah, that's a good one. See, there's another one. Oh, there's a third option. Interesting. Okay, we will continue it next time. I'm way too tired. I'm falling asleep, so I'm sorry. We're gonna do it next stream, and this is gonna be a part 1 out of 2. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to repair this mecha. Everyone have a good night and sleep well.